every moment, our today, meets our tomorrow. There is constant flux in time. In normal times, we don't reflect on this meeting between our today and tomorrow. But in crisis times, we start wondering whether our today is good and what kind of tomorrow we want. This tiny virus, corona, has actually been like a magnifying glass which is showing us the other social and economic viruses which plague us. Viruses which the powerful have created and continue to nurture them and spread them to control the world and to control others. The first such virus is patriarchy, which has messed up the lives of billions actually, women, men, transgenders and homosexuals. Connected to it is the virus of toxic masculinity. Yeah, some women can also suffer from this virus. In South Asia, we have the virus of caste, making it impossible for millions to live decently. Then the virus of race, religious fanaticism, and then the most deadly virus, according to me, of greed, which has created what many people today are calling disaster capitalism. This disaster capitalism has created the extreme inequalities which we see. A handful of obscenely rich people, and on the other side, the miserable lives of the poor. Our planet is suffering much more because of these viruses created by us. To substantiate my cynicism about our civilization, let me quote Gandhi. Decades ago, Gandhiji had said that Mother Earth has enough for everybody's needs, but not for everybody's greed. When someone asked Gandhiji if he would like India to have the same standard of living as that of Great Britain, he said that tiny country had to exploit half the world to have its standard of living. How many globes will India have to exploit? And once somebody asked him what Gandhi thought of the Western civilization, and he smiled and said, yeah, it will be a good idea. The man had a sense of humor. Our leaders who are in control today obviously did not follow Gandhi, but they created a lot of statues of Gandhi all over the world. We do the same. We do not follow the values of our religions, but we have created more temples and mosques and churches than we can count. To explain what I think of our today and what kind of tomorrow I think we need, I'll tell you a story 2,500 years old. Gautam, who went on to become the Buddha, was playing outside when he saw a beautiful white bird fall from the sky. He rushed to the bird, picked it up and saw that an arrow had pierced his chest. He picked up the bird, took the arrow out and started reviving the bird with the help of others when his slightly older cousin rushed in and said, "Hey Gautam, give me my bird." "Your bird? It fell from the sky." "Oh, come on, that arrow, that's mine." "Oh," thought Gautam and said, "that arrow is yours. You wanted to kill that bird." "I want the bird to live. The bird belongs to me." This story sums up everything for me. The cousin represents some of our present day leaders and the corporates, for whom there is this syndrome called limitless greed syndrome. They are obsessed with their love of power and control. They believe in anthropocentrism, an ideology which thinks human beings are separate from nature and we are masters of nature. For Mr. Cousin and his progeny, Mother Nature is just a resource. Our sacred rivers and lands and waters and oceans, they're all natural resources. Human beings are human resources. Our social relationships, our social capital. Everything in the service of profit. Profit over people and life itself. For profit, they plunder and poison nature, pollute, they colonize entire nations, kill millions. Education for profit, health systems for profit, junk food for profit, weapons for profit. On the other hand, Gotham represents the thinking that human beings and nature have to live together. Gotham represents love, nurture, care, karuna. Gotham represents the mindset of the small farmers, fisherfolk, craftspeople who've been making enough to survive without destroying nature. Friends, I believe that it is the mindset of Gotham which our tomorrow needs. And I also believe that we humans know what is good for us. That is why we follow prophets like the Buddha, Jesus, Prophet Muhammad, all with the right values. That is why we humans have created the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We have created very decent and humane national constitutions. The only problem is that the people in control of the world do not follow these. And we quarantine our prophets into temples and churches and mosques, and quarantine our constitutions into thick books. This needs to change. Our tomorrow must follow and practice the values we worship. For a peaceful, sustainable tomorrow, we need what the Africans called Ubuntu. I am because we are. We need harmony, not control, inclusion, not exclusion, pluralism and diversity, not monocultures, cooperation, not cutthroat competition, localization now, not destructive globalization. We need participatory earth democracy. Nature and people have to be over and above profit. Toxic masculinity, militarization should have no place in our tomorrow. I believe, friends, that we can do it, because the majority of the people in the world already practice what Gandhi was saying, what I am suggesting here. It's only that tiny minority which is messing up our world, which needs to be controlled. And we need to see how we can give the control in the hands of the majority, which lives in harmony with nature. As a first step, I think let's stop calling ourselves human beings. Let's call ourselves earth beings, so that we will always remember we are the children of Mother Earth. not her master. The next step has to be the change we want to see. Practice the values which will make life sustainable, livable, creative. Friends, our actions have to change, and not just that we have a politically correct language, which is what happens today. Next, our families should practice these values and teach them to the next generation. Respect for all, resources for all, democracy, everyone participating in household work, care work. When our boys and men look after children and old people, they will know the effort it takes to create one life. The values of our constitutions should be sacred, friends, and these sacred values should inform our politics, our economics, our relationships with others. And one last statement, what our tomorrow needs is power of love, not love of power and control.